Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome back to the MattVidPro AI YouTube channel. We've got a wealth of AI news to cover today. Lots of exciting news and developments that are going to lead us into the rest of this year concerning AI development. I want to kick things off with this from World Labs. This is RTFM, a real-time frame model. Essentially, this is like a world model similar to the Genie 3 that we saw from Google, but it's a little bit more efficient, meaning it requires less compute. It generates frames in real time as you interact with the model, and the way that you interact with it is actually, as you can see here, with these control dials. So you can move and look around as if it were a video game. They have a free demo where you can try this for yourself right now, and that's going to be linked down in the description below. It is really cool. Is it as good as Google's Genie 3? Is it as impressive? No, it does have some more limitations, especially in terms of movement and how far you can move around the space you're inside. The crazy part here is that you're basically building this interactive 3D environment that moves and changes realistically in a 3D space, but there is no actual 3D space. It's all AI generated frame by frame in real time. So it's really just like hallucinating a reality for you that you can control. In their own words, they see it as a learned renderer. It's an autoregressive diffusion transformer trained end-to-end on large-scale video data. It learns to model 3D geometry, reflection, shadows, and more just by observing them in the training set. Now, I know I said earlier that this model is efficient. This is efficient if you're a large company with deep pockets and GPUs on hand. To run this, it still takes a single H100 GPU. So we're not even close to being able to run on consumer hardware. As I stated earlier though, guys, you can try the demo right in your browser today, and it's pretty awesome. You can use WASD, or you can actually just move them with the mouse. You can see there's actually a couple of different settings as well, which is interesting. We're on quality mode, which generates higher resolution frames. It's still real time, but it's pretty darn choppy, as you can see. If I switch to speed, then things smooth up quite a bit, and it's a more enjoyable experience overall. You can also just use your mouse to kind of drag around, and like I said, use WASD to explore the different rooms, and there are a ton of different images to choose from, and these are just basically initial reference images, and the model hallucinates the rest, which is absolutely nuts. You can see, like, if I come over to this desk over here, try to look in the mirror, I don't really have a reflection. Things kind of get really blurry. It looks a little Gaussian splat-esque, if you will. Here is another really cool one where you can see there's this kind of high-tech aquarium from the future, maybe, where we're doing like studies on plants or something. I really want to move over to this area over here. You can see it kind of stops me and blocks me, so there are limitations on how far you can walk. The model definitely can't hallucinate or generate as well as like Genie 3 from Google, right? But doing all of this just off of a singular image is still really impressive, and this technology is only going to get better. A smaller non-Fortune 500 company built this, and I'm sure we're going to have more open source variant models in the future that probably will be able to run on consumer grade hardware. There's no doubt that world models like this teach us a lot about the potential of AI's future for all kinds of applications, whether it be robotics or video games, or even just something as simple as being able to do a virtual house tour in 3D based off a couple images. Next up, we have some exciting leaks from Google. We are going to be talking a lot about Gemini 3 today. It really does appear like this model is being tested, and I have some insane examples to show you. This is different though. This is Gemini Agent, and it's a prototype to perform tasks on the web. OpenAI has a very similar thing, but with Google, I'm more excited because I use Chrome as my everyday browser. I'm logged in, all of my favorite websites, and I do a ton of work on Chrome. If I could connect a Gemini agent that behaves in a similar way that can actually use my Chrome browser as well as access my data, there could be some seriously huge productivity benefits, even for average Joes like myself. You can see we've got a 15-second little demo clip to show you kind of what it's like. Early research prototype, but here here in the Google AI Studio, it's able to navigate to a requested website by the user. Notice though how it doesn't really open its own browser and doesn't have access to file systems or essentially a computer like you actually do with the ChatGPT version. I will be getting early access to it. I don't think I can show you guys any footage though until it's really officially public, but who knows, maybe a little bit of info will slip through the cracks. Join my Discord server and keep an eye out. As I test AI in real time in my life, I post it right to the Discord server often. I love the idea of an autonomous agent that does work inside of my browser because there is so much you can do just from a web browser. It could be posting tweets for me, it could be checking YouTube comments. A lot of folks are saying that this is totally different than Gemini 3 and is not powered by Gemini 3, and that does make a lot of sense. Similar to OpenAI, I imagine this is trained on the direct tools it has access to and has a strong focus on multimodality, so it can see what it's doing on a real website. Before we dive into the next AI topic, I've got a quick word from today's sponsor. Recently, OpenAI dropped Sora 2, the jaw-dropping AI model that makes even the laws of physics terrified. However, the Sora app currently only does short-form content. It's also invite-only and watermarked. But Invideo AI, as one of the first official partners, already has integrated Sora 2 access. Invideo AI plugs Sora 2 directly into an automated production stack. Scripting, storyboarding, voiceover, music, the works. No more 10-second Sora generations. The best part is it's super simple. Go to Invideo.io, type your video idea prompt into the bar, pick Ultra for the best look, and if possible, provide some reference photos. Pretty soon you'll have an impressive generation made front to back with AI. From there, you can use conversational language to tweak and edit the final result, translate the language, make the video shorter or longer. Invideo's agentic editor does all the heavy lifting. This allows you to spin up more cohesive creative material that looks like it was made on $1 million budget, but it's much cheaper than that and you're done in an hour. Try Invideo for free with the link down below. If you're serious, the generative plan starts at $100 a month. That's what I'm on, and you definitely get a decent chunk of credits to access Sora 2 and see what it can get up to without a 10-second restriction. Huge thanks to Invideo for sponsoring today's video. Now back to your regularly scheduled content. Welcome back, folks. All right, let's jump into the Gemini 3 Pro rumor mill. And a lot of these are not rumors, all right? We have real demos, real code you can look at on your own machine that is supposedly produced with Gemini 3. I talked about some of this stuff in my recent video. I got a couple comments saying like, hey, how do you know essentially that this is actually Gemini 3? That's a great point. Most of the demos you're going to see are coming from this user, Chettislua. This user is pretty well trusted in the AI community space here on X. And a lot of the examples that you're going to see today are totally mind-blowing, but there's no giveaways that they were made by a human. If anything, there are about 1 million giveaways or things that you can point at on each of these examples to why they are generated with AI. Chettislua and others say that they are accessing this new Gemini 3.0 model through A/B testing in Google's AI Studio and in Gemini. And that makes sense. That's something that a lot of AI companies do. I am very much inclined to believe these demos. I'll explain why further as we take a look at them. I want to get into a lot of detail, but of course, Google hasn't officially announced Gemini 3. There is no 110% confidence that this is Gemini 3.0, although it's extremely likely. Anyways, this example is making the Eiffel Tower out of voxels. The prompt here is literally just 6 words, and this is the output that you get. No mention on whether or not this is one shot from the model in this particular example, but there is no denying that building the Eiffel Tower out of voxels with just code is an incredibly impressive feat for an AI LLM right now. GPT-5, Claude, they wouldn't get to this detail level, and of course, still, this generation isn't perfect. The legs are kind of cut off here and the top half is floating. And like this blue strip is a little weird. Things like that point to it being more on the AI generated side of things. If a human was really trying to shock and impress someone, I'm pretty sure there wouldn't be a massive hole inside the Eiffel Tower. Also, we do have direct access to the code that Gemini 3 supposedly generated for this. You can see all of the HTML in CodePen, and you can take a look at the 3D model for yourself. It's all here. This is a crazy understanding of 3D space as well as real-world objects at the same time. Being able to create something like this with code, I can't even begin to explain what that actually entails inside of the model. Yeah, every AI LLM knows what the Eiffel Tower looks like, but can every LLM take that concept, that idea of the descriptions in its memory of the Eiffel Tower, translate that into code that then builds a voxel 3D representation of said structure? Humans have been doing stuff like this for a long time, but this level of capability is new for LLMs. Another reason I'm also very much inclined to believe these Gemini 3 demonstrations is that they actually have checkpoint names. A lot of the demos you're going to see today were made with the ECPT checkpoint. Don't really know what that means, but here's a direct comparison between this ECPT Gemini 3 checkpoint and Gemini 2.5 Pro. The prompt here was to build Space Invaders, essentially. Gemini 3 is one shot. Gemini 2.5 Pro is a multi-shot, so this is the best result from 2.5 Pro. This user says they noticed a degradation and decline in Gemini 2.5 Pro performance. Let me know if you guys experienced that in the comments down below. I haven't noticed anything personally, but the difference between these two Space Invader clones could not be more shocking. So obviously, this fast-paced, kind of basic clone, Gemini 2.5 Pro cooks up. Meanwhile, the Gemini 3 ECPT checkpoint is doing some insane things. Neon invaders, it has a nice title screen that's glowing, tells you the controls, basic start button. The whole thing is glowing, and there's even kind of this filter that gives you an old arcade cabinet CRT screen feel, which is really awesome. Also get that kind of with the glowing effects on each individual piece. The Space Invaders themselves shooting projectiles actually seem to have particles that kind of behave pretty beautifully. You also have particles as well in your spaceship, and when a Space Invader is destroyed, the screen actually shakes and they explode again into more particles. There's way more graphical effects going on. It's a much more advanced game with different sprites, better score, absolutely night and day. It's making a lot more creative decisions. It feels way more polished. We are entering a world of AI coding that is going to be really profound. Highly complex games are going to be able to be made, and we'll probably have fully custom software generated on demand sooner than you'd think, maybe by the turn of the decade. Here is another one from Charlie L. This is a model known as Zenith versus ECPT. The prompt is a cute polar bear riding a bike under a starry sky. In this case, we're trying to use code to make animations. Again, it has to take these real-world ideas, polar bear, bike, starry night sky, and code them in an animated way that actually makes sense. It's a very deep level of understanding. Even just generating an image with code has been a huge struggle for LLMs in the past, let alone one that's actually animated. You can see Zenith does something pretty cool here. I like the bike actually moving across the screen. I also like the pedals moving. The polar bear, though, has 3 eyes. He's a little bit messed up. ECPT, Gemini 3, on the other hand, the bike even has chain details in here. He's moving, still got good pedals. He's actually moving his feet even, and his scarf is flapping in the wind. That's a little creative decision it didn't have to make, but it did anyways. The bear's face looks way better, and I like that the hands are actually touching the handlebars, but he's got long noodle arms. This is art being created with code. You can see there's a comment down here saying, hey, I don't understand why we're making polar bears on bicycles. How's this actually translate to a real world use case? The truth of the matter is that this is just an example showing that complex abstract ideas can be recreated with impressive accuracy just using code. What else can it code? Maybe we're not worried about polar bears, but maybe we are worried about coding an app that detects cancer better or something like that. There are barriers being broken down. You don't have to know how to code to have a creative or valuable idea that could help be brought to life and fruition using AI technology like Gemini 3. As long as you speak a language, it can write the code. Here is another Another example from Chetislua. This is a mysterious website about simulation theory. Kind of a long prompt. Reality is rendering in real time, wireframe grids, matrix style, falling code backgrounds. A little bit beefy, a little bit complicated, but check out the output. It even has audio. Construct 01, the veil. You can see it blurs in. Look closely at the edges of things. Do you see it? The aliasing, the subtle jitter. Basically, we're all living in a simulation in a video game. It's supposed to be like a website that plays on that trope or idea. The website is kind of glitchy. It's got this thing in the background with some like material texture, but it's also very computer. Memory leaks and deja vu. And if you keep trying to scroll down the website itself kind of falls apart, which is really cool. It's pretty fun. User is aware of the simulation and then it shuts off. People in the replies here asking how to get access to this Gemini 3.5 Pro ECPT checkpoint. Just prompt it multiple times in Google AI Studio until you get the 2 boxes with A and B testing. Code is also provided for this one. It's very interactive. This is so cool. Oh my god, rendering artifacts. Look at it, it's all like glitchy. The way that it's able to take these, again, very abstract, complicated niche ideas and then build them into something that is fully fledged and pretty much nailed the first time. Oh. Let's see if it's going to analyze my environment. Oh, it is actually. It is changing based on a couple of different hardware things. Very cool. I'm going to skip through a couple of these other Gemini 3.0 examples. These are also from Chetislua, building various OSs. This is an iPhone 3G simulation. It actually made the whole phone as well. Again, this is all just code, including all of these apps, these icons, and they actually work. The calculator works. The settings actually work. And it's not just, you know, an iPhone 3G with iOS 6. It's also making Game Boys with working, playing games. Literally has a little Mario Bros clone playing on a fake Game Boy Color that's totally digital and written by code. Why not just clone the Windows operating system with a working notepad, working Snake mini game, and you don't have to stop at Windows, you can also try Mac OS as well. This one has a full working Safari browser that can actually pull up the Wikipedia page for Mac OS itself. This is insane, guys. These are full operating systems kind of just being roughly cloned by an LLM. Fresh out of the model, promptable to your heart's content. I'm sure you could build your own custom operating system in whatever theme or idea you want. How cool is it going to be when we all are able to create our own custom software to solve problems in our day-to-day life? No, it's not all coding demos. This is also from Chetislua. Same ECPT checkpoint. This is the classic seahorse emoji test. LLMs typically get tricked up because they think there is a seahorse emoji. They try to create it with Unicode and then it doesn't happen. But Gemini 3.0 is smart enough to know that there is no specific emoji for a seahorse and not even try to generate it. Oftentimes, thinking models actually end up getting this question correct because they'll sit there and they'll think like, hey, let's actually try to produce a seahorse emoji, and then it doesn't work. They do a little bit of research and then they're like, oh, okay, it doesn't exist. Let's move to instant though, and you'll see, yep, yeah, there sure is a seahorse emoji, and then it tries to make a bunch of seahorse emojis and then it doesn't work. It actually kind of freaks out and bricks the LLM a little bit, which is insane. But apparently Gemini 3 doesn't have this issue. Wow, look how long it's going. Oh my god, see, it thinks that the seahorse emoji is this. That isn't Coral. Don't worry, guys, I saved the best example for last. Really cool prompt by Chetislua here. Stunning visualization of DNA unzipping. Helicase enzyme walking along, DNA polymerase copying base pairs. I'm not a scientist, okay, guys? Either way, this is supposed to be a scientific demonstration, a little bit of an animation, if you will. A visualization of DNA unzipping, how it's actually packed together internally. So it built a learning tool. This is really freaking cool, guys. You can see we're starting off in the cell. Seatbelts, everyone, we're shrinking down to enter a human cell. You can actually see the magic school bus there going into the cell, and now we're gonna go check out the DNA blueprints in the nucleus. So this is literally a custom-built learning tool that Gemini 3 just generated on the spot. The final animation is really impressive. We've got our little character here in the middle that is unzipping the DNA and building new strands in real time. It's got all of the correct letters and a legend with different colors. Again, there is some graphic fidelity here, a little bit of a glow on some of this stuff, animations, little particles as it's actually doing the work and creating the different strands. This is incredible stuff. This is a fully custom learning tool. Like when I was in school, when I was in like middle school, to be able to get something like this just on a Chromebook was like peak technology and considered the holy grail of immersive hands-on technological education for something like this. But now, you could just code it up with Gemini 3, and if the kid's fighting back and doesn't want to learn it, well, you can actually customize it to be however the child wants it to be. If they want it to be in 3D, for example, if they want it to be first person or more interactive, that might be something possible. Maybe put you in there replicating the DNA. Maybe that'll help. Regardless, this is definitely the coolest Gemini 3 demo I've seen thus far. There are a lot of commonalities I've noticed across all of these demos. This thing is going to be a strong coder and probably better than GPT-5. As for a release date, there's no public announcement, but I think that they're going to try to push Gemini 3 out before the end of the year, and if not, it's going to come early next year. All right, I just have to show you guys this. This is Daniel. He's the founder of an app called Geo Spy AI. This is him using a internal version of the app that has more advanced capabilities, so not publicly available, but the demonstration is wild. Using AI to track cartel activity from grainy videos posted on Telegram. I'll let the video kind of just speak for itself. Here's our grainy video. It's choppy. This is like 240p, guys. I mean, we can barely make out that this is Guardia Police here. Trees, shrubs, it could be anywhere, according, to our human eyes, right? But take a simple low-res screenshot from the video and plug it into Geo Spy AI. Again, these are tools that, like, law enforcement have access to, but not the public. It will then search worldwide using multi-prediction model, doing a global location analysis, and very quickly it comes up with the exact location. And if you don't believe me, if you actually search for that specific location around where it thinks it found it, you can get a Google Street View with impressive quality and clarity that shows the exact location. There's the tree, there's the mountain, this is the highway they were on. You can see that the AI believes this is an excellent match, matching up a ton of different points to the Google Maps data, even showing a 3D view. I like when technology such as this is used for good, but you gotta admit, it's pretty scary. Like, any photo of you could be tracked down to a pretty precise location with something like this. One of the moderators on my Discord server, Roro, actually knows this guy Daniel and used to help him test GeoSpy in its early days. According to Roro, Daniel has helped catch a ton of criminals with this, which is pretty awesome. I really do see AI technology as an ultra powerful tool, and with ultra power comes ultra responsibility. It's great when technology like this is created and then used for good. It should probably be private. The concern is those unsavory characters, actual criminals, bad people using AI technology to harm others for personal gain. 190% unacceptable to do something like that. Manus got an update to 1.5. Apparently it's faster, has better quality results, and now unlimited context, which I kind of find hard to believe. Haven't tested this one out. I'm not a Manus everyday driver. If any of you guys are watching right now, let me know if you tried out Manus 1.5 and is it actually better than the original Manus? How are they going to get away with unlimited context? I imagine they're doing some sort of context management with summarization, maybe storage, but AI models don't have unlimited context, so it's not truly possible. Also, this entire ad they made is just text. I don't know why they would do that. Personally, I'm a big believer in letting your product speak for itself with real-world examples that just slap. If I hear more whispers about this being a nice upgrade, I might have to actually pay and check it out myself. Here's one that I know I had to save for you guys. This is ChatGPT running Doom. It's doing this with a tool call and essentially just loading loading next.js Doom. And yeah, it's fully playable inside of ChatGPT, which is pretty hilarious. Is this actually useful in any way at all? Not really, but is it kind of awesome? Totally. The only thing that would make this better is if ChatGPT could play Doom. This was peak gaming technology at one point in time, and here we are just running it in ChatGPT for the hell of it. This might have flown under your radar, but it turns out that the ChatGPT iOS app particularly already supports video input. It can transcribe audio and actually see the videos you uploaded. I originally had a theory that GPT-5 was not natively multimodal on video, but it seems like GPT-5 might have actually been trained alongside Sora 2 because it has very, very good video understanding. OpenAI is just locking it away from us for some reason. Obviously, you're not actually supposed to be able to do this in the ChatGPT app. OpenAI didn't want us to know this was even a capability yet. Basically, from your camera roll on iOS, you hold and drag the video so that you can move it around, where you'll already have ChatGPT open to take in a new chat, and you literally just drag the video right into the prompt bar, and it actually uploads it fully, and it works. I've used it a couple of times, and I gotta say, it's the best native video understanding I've seen in any model. It crushes Gemini 2.5. We'll see how Gemini 3 does. There aren't a lot of models that natively take in video, but right now, ChatGPT 5 is the best. What's ridiculous, though, is that they're locking this away. Why can't we just have access? I mean, it works in the ChatGPT app, like, by accident, so just let us try it. Come on. Imagine if your car, like, breaks down and you hear a weird noise from the engine, send ChatGPT a quick video, maybe show the error on your dash, think could actually tell you what's wrong with your car. Believe it or not, Anthropic AI has an update with Claude. Claude can now use customizable skills. There are, I guess, packaged instructions that teach Claude your specific way of working. I can see how that could be very useful, but how does that differ from just having a prompt? I guess it's a little bit more organized. So the demo they show off here is uploading a little zip file with some brand guidelines inside right onto Claude. This is uploaded as a brand new skill. Now it knows to adhere to these brand guidelines so that whenever they are mentioned or brought up in a prompt, it checks that first and makes sure to consider that in its final output. You can see it actually goes ahead and checks that specific file, reads the document. It's also building a PowerPoint here, so it grabs a PowerPoint skill documentation, which I imagine also has some constraints, some ideas, some rules on how it should be making PowerPoints. It can then go out and execute all of those steps independently and create your final pitch deck, which honestly looks pretty awesome. Very, very impressive little slide deck. It's also using now a poster design skill to understand the creative process to now make some concept posters, which it then goes ahead and generates. Also, very, very impressive. It would be really awesome to be able to download skills made by other users, so hopefully that's something that they're working on. This is available for the paid plans. I don't pay for Claude. If any of you guys are daily driving Claude, give this a shot and let me know if you've developed any cool skills or if it seems like a worthy addition to the library of tools that Claude has access to. They've also released Haiku 4.5. This is their small baby mode model, but it seems to be very competent and is keeping up with GPT-5. Anthropic is certainly continuously outdoing themselves, but in practice, and according to the folks on my Discord server, Haiku 4.5 is pretty good, but apparently GPT-5 Mini is still a better bang for the buck. Whew. Alright guys, that is all I have for you today. Listen, the AI space is evolving very rapidly. I'm going to take the time at the end of this video to talk a little bit about the AI space lately. For those not tuned into the AI space and what's going on inside of it, Sora 2 was a dramatic release that kind of scared people. A lot of folks are in denial, saying that Sora 2 is nothing but a slop generator. A lot of people are rightfully worried with technology like Sora 2 cropping up because video evidence is going to be increasingly difficult to verify if AI can generate realistic depictions of crimes, and especially specific people committing crimes, for example. Among other things, right? There's the job loss concerns as well. All very much valid. As AI continues to develop at a blistering pace, it's very important to remember that with great power comes great responsibility, and we need to be responsible with this technology. I've been creating and posting plenty of content with Sora too. However, you should be mindful of who's in your videos and how they're depicted, especially if they're a real person. You shouldn't be using AI video technology to deceive people or trick the unsuspecting, untechnological boomer on Facebook. If I'm posting a Sora video on Instagram or TikTok, for example, I'm labeling it as AI generated. It's good hygiene, and I'm one who believes in the truth. I'm not trying to lie to people or deceive people intentionally to make them think that they're seeing something that actually happened, but never really did. And I also want to say, in regards to using AI technology, I urge you to be creative. I urge you to take something that's deep inside of your soul, something deep that you're passionate about, take that as a seed and use AI to grow it into a beautiful tree, let's say. It's okay to be inspired by other people's work, and it's especially okay to remix it, especially when it's encouraged by the original creator. In the next coming years, there is going to be a massive communication barrier between those who understand and have used AI technology pretty extensively and those who are brand new to it and terrified of it. I'm sure most of you watching right now are super into AI technology. Really try to understand those who are afraid of the technology, and rightfully so. It is scary, it is powerful, it is potent, and it could be used for the wrong reasons. It's up to us as a species and a society to demonstrate the positive use cases of AI and work towards building a better education on how these tools actually work, what they are capable of today, and what we can easily project they'll be capable of in the future. I've got lots more to say regarding this stuff because it's going to become a huge cultural thing. I've been trying to collect my thoughts on it for a while. I don't know, I might put a video out, but I gotta get it right. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I'll see you guys next week with the latest insights. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Peace.